Welcome back to another live stream on the Texas Rangers Report. And if this is your first time watching the channel, make sure to subscribe right now because I'm your number one source for all things Texas Rangers on YouTube. But in this live stream, we are going to be breaking down the Rangers 2022 opening day roster. And it's a little bit different. We're going to be having 28 people on the opening day roster. Usually, it's 26 people on the opening day roster, but because of the shortened spring training, they wanted to bump up the players to 28 for the main reason of having more pitchers, so you aren't risking any injury. Will there be injuries? Yes, but maybe this will prevent some, and you'll probably see what the Rangers did to kind of prevent some of these issues. But make note that I think in about a month, the opening day or the roster size will drop down to 26. So maybe some guys will get DFA'd. I know Dennis Santana is out of options. Albert Abreu, who we just got, is also out of options. Could those guys get DFA'd? I don't know. Maybe you look to guys who have options like Josh Spores. You also look at some guys who have, I think, that made the opening day roster on last year's team, like Spencer Patton. He is on the 40-man roster. He's 33, 34 years old, and he had to get not designated. He had to get optioned down to AAA. I think that just shows how much more depth the Texas Rangers have. Now, I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to be looking over the Texas Rangers 2022 opening day rosters. Sharing the screen right now. There we go. So we are on Fangraphs, and I mean, it's honestly not too hard to predict who is going to be on the opening day roster. For the most part, players that get major league deals like Corey Seager, like Brad Miller, like Marcus Semien, those guys are going to make it. Garrett Richards, who got a major league deal, Martin Perez, Jon Gray, those guys are going to make it. Players that played well last year are going to make it. So let's look at our projected rotation. We pretty much knew that this was going to be the rotation going into the season. We have Jon Gray as the ace. He made the team. Martin Perez as the number 2. Dane Dunning the 3rd. Taylor Hearn as the 4th pitcher. Spencer Howard as the 5th. Nothing has really changed on that front. I think the only thing going into spring training would they sign another starter? They didn't. And also, it would be who would get the 5th spot in the rotation. Spencer Howard has looked pretty solid in spring training, so that went to him. And honestly, I would say the last 3 to 4 days of spring training, we already pretty much knew who was going to be on the roster. I would say it was 2 spots were left. It was basically the backup outfield spot, which was a battle between Eli White and Jake Marisnick. Eli White won that. Jake Marisnick was just released by the organization. And I think the last spot had to have been Josh Spores versus Spencer Patton. Josh Spores won that one. Spencer Patton was sent down to AAA, but I don't think he's going to be down there for long. Injuries always happen, and I think he's a big league arm. He played well last year. That was his last option, but I definitely think we'll see him back up in the majors. But also a notable note is that we have 3 non-roster invitees that made a team. That would be Matt Bush, like we knew made the team. Charlie Culberson, I'll get to him later. But another one is Greg Holland. After the trade for Albert Abreu, I did not think Greg Holland would make the roster, even though he's pitched well in spring training and he has a solid track record. His fastball velocity has gone down as he's gotten older. He is the same age as Matt Bush, but I just thought that there wasn't enough spots in the bullpen for him. However, Garrett Richards appears to have a quote unquote blister injury and is going to be out a week. Some people think that they are using the word blister to say that he isn't vaccinated. Because as you guys know, or if you don't know, the Toronto Blue Jays or the country of Canada is not allowing people to play in Canada if they aren't vaccinated. So could it be a blister injury? Maybe. I doubt it because I saw Garrett Richards on TV 3 nights ago. He struck out the side, I believe. He looked sharp. And then to say, oh, he has a blister injury now, out for a week, I highly doubt that. That sounds like, oh, he's going to be on the 7-day IL. We'll see you back in Texas. But it's notable because Greg Holland made the team. 3 non-roster invitees. That means you have to create 3 40-man spots for them. How do you create those spots? Well, you could put Jose Leclerc on the 60-day IL. I don't think the Rangers really want to do that, but that is a possibility. They already put Jonathan Hernandez on the 60-day IL. And if you look down here at our injured players, Jonathan Hernandez, Jose Leclerc, and Garrett Richards with a quote-unquote blister injury. So that would create 1 roster spot. But not everybody's injured. And you're not putting Garrett Richards on the 60-day IL because they think he's going to be back in a week. So who else would we have to designate? I think you could look at Zach Rex. I think that's the most notable option. And by the way, on this other tab, Zach Rex is actually playing in the minor leagues right now. He's batting 5th, playing right field for AAA because AAA has started for some reason. The majors hasn't started. And, any other affiliation hasn't started yet, but AAA has. Could this be the last time he plays for the Rangers organization? Maybe. Or he just get designated and clear waivers and right back to AAA. So he's a guy. I think Yoni Hernandez is a guy you could look at. DeMarcus Evans could probably get designated for assignment. As much as I don't want to see him get designated, you could look at Sheridan Apostle. I still think he has good potential, but I mean, as our roster starts to get better and better, he's gonna be on that bubble. But I don't think he's there. I think it's gonna be Zach Rex and Yanni Hernandez, and you move Jose Leclerc to the 60-day IL, because that would put Jose Leclerc coming back around. So it's already April, May, sometime in June. Sounds about right. So let's look at the bullpen. Joe Barlow, Greg Holland, Matt Bush. I think Joe Barlow will still be the closer, but you could use any 3 of those guys. And even though Greg Holland's stuff has ticked down, he could still be the closer. But I do think these will be your setup guys, where my cursor is at setup, and the 9th inning guy. Any 3 of those guys. You got Brett Martin. He's established himself as a good relief option. Josh Spores, who I like. And by the way, I do like Spencer Patton, who got sent down. John King established himself last year. Albert Abreu's kind of a wild card, but he's out of options. Brock Burke and Colby Aller are interesting ones because I really didn't think either of them would have made the opening day roster, but I think the Rangers are valuing long relievers, and Brock Burke can eat some innings. Colby Allard can eat some innings. I think they're trying to protect their starters. Maybe on a normal spring training schedule, you maybe only see 1 make the team. I don't know. Dennis Santana, I think, has some promise. He's out of options. So we will see how this bullpen shapes up for sure. But I think the guys that are on the bubble, they don't have options. like Santana, like Abreu. So I think the first guys to get sent down whenever the roster cuts happen, have to be Allard or Burke or Spores, but probably Allard and Burke, because you'd still have two lefties in the bullpen, and um and Brett Martin and John King. But when you think about it, you have to cut the roster down to 26 eventually. So, and they said you can only have 13 pitchers on your roster. So that's 5 starters and then 8 people in the bullpen. Right now we have 10. And then you think about it, you have to free up another 2 spots for Jose Leclerc and Jonathan Hernandez at some point. So, granted, injuries always happen, but this bullpen might be a strength for us. Real quick, let me go to some of the comments before look at the rest of the roster. Jack Leiter, Cohen, Owen White, and Vanasco are the Rangers' future pitching foundation. We'll see about that. I'm more hyped about Jack Leiter and Cohen. I don't know. I do think Vanasco has injury risk, but we all know prospects don't all pan out. Sean McNally, I have never been so hopeful to get 82 wins in my life. That's funny. From Samuel Sandite, Albert Abreu has been scoreless this spring training. He's gonna have a solid year. Yeah, that's a good point, Samuel. Obviously, Albert Abreu came over in the Jose Trevino trade. He had a scoreless spring over with the Yankees down in Florida, and then he just pitched his first spring training game with the Rangers today. By the way, today was the last spring training game for the Rangers. They played against the Cubs. This was the last one, a scoreless inning. That's very intriguing for a guy that throws 100 miles an hour and then a 100-mile-an-hour sinker as well. He's got a slider. There's potential there with Abreu. I think there's a potential up and down this bullpen for sure. So I've been through the starters. I've been through the bullpen. I think the starting rotation, I think the bullpen has potential. And you also have guys that have proven themselves, like Matt Bush. He needs to stay healthy. You got Brett Martin. You got John King. I mean, limited sample size. Greg Collins has some success. So I think the bullpen could be something you rely on. Last year it was garbage. The starting rotation is a little scary for me. I do think Jon Gray could probably be an all-star this year. I just get that vibe because we've made Minor an all-star. Lance Lynn was never an all-star for us, but he's pitched like an all-star with us. I don't think Dane Dunning has a high ceiling, but I could see like Jon Gray being the only good starter and the rest being trash. Or I could see Jon Gray being an ace-type pitcher, Martin Perez being average, Dane Dunning being a little bit above average, Taylor Hearn being okay at points, and Spencer Howard maybe being your second best pitcher. I mean, I don't know. It's still shaky, but I think the rotation will be a lot better next year with all our prospects coming up and with the other free agency class as well. But like I was saying, who would you guys designate for assignment or put on the injured list to clear roster spots for Culberson, Matt Bush, and Greg Holland? It's kind of good to see Greg Holland made the roster because he was pitching well, and I don't know, because that provides good veteran leadership on the team, and obviously, if you didn't have him, you would just lose him probably to free agency, but you do lose Garrett Richards for a while. And also I mentioned Garrett Richards is going to come back eventually, so who's going to get sent down? We will see. And then let me go to the lineup right here. So our catchers, we're doing 2 catchers. A lot of people have said, why don't you do 3? Because Mitch Garver could DH. He has some injury history. Well, we trade Jose Trevino. We could always call up Sam Huff if we're in a pinch. Sam Huff is catching right now for Round Rock. Let's see. We are losing right now, but it looks like Bubba Thompson hit a home run. Leody Taveras has a double. Interesting. Sharon Apostle, 2 strikeouts. Josh Smith with a walk. So yeah, Bubba Sam Huff, we could call up, but we are going with Mitch Garver, who is going to be one of the best catchers in the league if he stays healthy, and Jonah Heim. He has a lot of potential. You could pinch hit off the bench with him, and then if you have to start him on occasion, that's good because I think he would be a starter on majority of teams. And then you look at the lineup, you would have Brad Miller. I really don't know if he'll actually be our leadoff guy because he only did it a few times in spring training. Marcus Semien got the majority, but I could definitely see Brad Miller starting off some games. So Brad Miller in left, Marcus Semien batting second, playing second, Corey Seager batting third, playing short, Mitch Garver batting fourth, catching, Nate Lowe batting fifth, playing first, Adolis Garcia batting sixth, playing center field, Cole Calhoun batting seventh, playing right field, Willie Calhoun batting eighth, playing DH. And I think this is good for Willie Calhoun because for majority of his career, we were saying we just need to get him to be a DH. But we were always like, for a majority of his career, he's always kind of fell into that left fielder type role with a few DHs here and there. I remember we had Hunter Pence. He took his DH spot, but I mean, Hunter Pence became an all-star that year. Last year, it was David Dahl, but of course, these injuries play into Willie not getting that full DH role. Hopefully, this is the year, and then Andy Ibanez batting ninth, playing third. But I like our bench too because Jonah Heim had some versatility because he's a switch hitter. And then you got Charlie Culberson. He will be platooning probably with I don't know right now, but the thing is, all these guys are versatile off the bench. You got Charlie Culberson, he can play the infield. He could also play the outfield. Nick Solak, he could play infield and outfield. And even though they list Eli White as just a outfielder, we know he could do both. I bet you see Brad Miller platoon with Eli White, Nick Solak platoon with Cole Calhoun, and Charlie Culberson platoon with Willie Calhoun. But yeah, I like how the roster is shaping up. I think you have a good 1 through 6 lineup for your hitters. And then if you're platooning with your bottom 3, that's not really bad at all because that's saying, okay, they're good against righties, but then you're getting your better hitters in versus lefties. So I think that's good. I think the bullpen has a lot of potential. A lot of guys throw gas in the bullpen, and I think the biggest thing is the starting rotation. That's definitely iffy, but maybe Cohen will be here closer than we know. Let me get to some of the comments. Not sure why, but I don't see Samuel's comments. Must have blocked him by accident. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Samuel saying that, does Luis Castillo make sense at the deadline? Imagine Castillo and Cohen in the rotation after the trade deadline. First of all, to get that rotation, we can't use Cohen in the trade, obviously, but that would be nice because I do really think. Let me scroll down to the projected rotation, and this is the entire 28-man rotation, so unless an injury happens. So where is it? Here we go. So Jon Gray would probably stay your 2. Luis Castillo your 1. Cole Winn probably would be your 3rd guy in the rotation unless Spencer Howard or Taylor Hearn pops off. I believe those guys are the most likely to pop off besides Jon Gray. I think Martin Perez and Dane Dunning have a good floor, but I really don't think they have a high ceiling. But that would be really cool because Cohen definitely, granted, he needs to stay healthy. I really think he'll be in the majors halfway through the season. And if we're competing, Luis Castillo might make some sense. So are you high on Owen White? Yes or no? I am. Okay, yes. Going back to your comment, I am high on Owen White. I'm high on Cohen. I'm high on Jack Leiter. It's just if you think about it, like a lot of teams that have had a lot of pitching prospects, like the Dodgers, they don't all like end up being in the rotation. They end up being in trades or they end up getting hurt. Like look at Dustin May. So I am high on those three. Ricky Vanasco, I do think reminds me of Hans Kraus. Probably gets moved to the bullpen, but definitely high on those. But like I'm saying, look at the Padres, for instance. Like they were building up a really good starting rotation with their prospects, but now like Mackenzie Gore is on the outs because they have Blake Snell, Nick Martinez, Danielson Lamet, Mike Clevenger, Yu Darvish, so many other guys. That is like, oh shoot, where do we have room for the prospects? And the Rangers are going to add in free agency next year. So I know it's you. I know you guys know what I'm saying. But I definitely am high on those prospects. But I don't think. What am I trying to say? I'm high on the prospects, but it just doesn't always work out to where every single prospect is going to have that big of an impact on your team all at the same time. From Backstage Baseball, what's up, Backstage Baseball? How are you doing? Thanks for joining the live stream. From Sean McNally, don't sleep on Ibanez this year. He had a great spring training, and hopefully he can do some good things. Also, I like Garcia batting third in front of Garver. Go get Garcia some protection. So let me go back to the lineup. Yeah, so right now the projected lineup has Garcia at 6th. So his person batting behind him would be Cole Calhoun. I don't think that's much of protection at all. But I think all the guys batting ahead of him are a lot better. Or maybe not a lot better, but are definitely better than Adolis. I think Adolis has to prove himself. But if you think about it, maybe he doesn't need protection because if those guys are already on base, are they really going to? I don't know. I'm just trying to think because if all those guys like get on base, like Seager and Semien and Garver, aren't they going to try to like? I'm trying to get at like there's no free bases, so it's not like they can just pitch around Garcia. So even though he doesn't have protection, it's not like they can just wiggle their way around Garcia. They're either going to have to make good pitches or, he's going to get walked. So we will see. We will see because, there's so much strategy going into making lineups that like we can say, oh, just give him some protection, he'll be better. But then you look at the mind of a manager and it's like, oh shoot, we need this many runs to get this many wins to break into the playoffs, and we need this guy batting here, this guy batting here. So much stuff that goes into it. So I'm kind of interested to see. By the way, thank you for all the comments. I really appreciate it. If you have any more, put them down below. I'm interested to see the box score of the round rock game because AAA started today and Majors obviously starts the 7th of April. But the Rangers start April 8th and all the other minor league affiliates start April 8th as well. I don't know why AAA start today, but they have. We're going against El Paso. I'm pretty sure they are the AAA affiliate for the Padres. I know they were a few years ago. Don't know if it's still the same. Yeri Rodriguez is on the bump. But Bubba Thompson, like I said earlier, hit a home run. He's playing left field. Interesting. He's having to play left field over Leody Taveras. You got two defensive studs out there. And like I said, this could be Zach Reck's last game in the Rangers organization. We all know. But he's most likely one of the guys that will be DFA to make room for Matt Bush, Culberson, and Greg Collin. But I just think it's crazy. Like Tavares is a great center fielder. So is Bubba Thompson, and Bubba Thompson is having to play left field. Josh Smith at shortstop, he's gotten a walk. Tavares has a hit. I really hope Tavares does well in the minors because he's only 23. I still have hope for him. I think it is interesting that Davis Wenzel, who played well throughout the entirety of spring training, is batting third. I also think another guy who's could get DFA'd, Yanni Hernandez, batting ninth. Could that say something? Maybe. Sam Huff catching. Also, if Sam Huff could hit, that'd be awesome because I do think he is one of our top prospects that has the biggest bust potential. And Leody's hit was a double. And the pitchers that pitched today have been Jake Latz, 4 innings. He let 5 hits on 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. If you guys don't remember, Jake Latz pitched for the Rangers last year. He got that because of the COVID outbreak with the Rangers. He looked decent with the Rangers, but definitely need more time in the minors. Jason Barr got lit up a third of an inning, 4 earned runs. His ERA is 108. Tinoco, don't know him. Tyson Miller, an inning. Not really. I know who Tyson Miller is, but not somebody big. But Yeri Rodriguez, a top prospect. He's pitching right now. Got guys on third and second. Because he's let up 2 hits. He's let up a single and a double. So he's kind of in a pinch right now. So let's see if he can get out of it. I know he's like one of those like pitching prospect the Rangers are excited about. That's why they're willing to trade Hans Kraus. But they've kind of traded away from those lower pitching prospects. Like Hans Kraus wasn't a low pitching prospect in my opinion, but they've traded him, and they've also traded Ronnie Enriquez and the Mitch Garver deal. So I like Yeri Rodriguez. He pitched well last year in Double-A. He's still trying to find his footing. In Triple-A, he didn't really have success last year there. He strikes out Matthew Baton. Let's see if he can get out of this inning. Honestly, if he has a good year, he's on the 40-man, so he could get called up just like Cole Winn. From Samuel Sandai, Ibanez will hit 18 to 20 homers and 30-plus doubles in a full season. I mean, I believe that. And honestly, this Josh Jung injury could be a blessing in disguise if we think about it, because would Ibanez get this full chance if Young was healthy? I don't think so. From Sean McNally, is Win in AAA or AA? Cole Winn is in AAA. I honestly don't know why he didn't get the start tonight. Maybe it's because his last spring training outing was too close to the AAA outing. I'm not sure, but he's definitely in AAA. Maybe I have an idea. I can run down our top prospects and where they are at. So let me do that real quick. But Yeri Rodriguez, close to a strikeout right here. Texas Rangers. All right, Yeri Rodriguez just let up a single. El Paso is leading 9-1 now. Men on third and first. not being able to find anything. Hold up. I have it on my phone. I was just trying to find a graphic. So from Sean, who do you think we draft in the first round this year? I want to draft a college bat. I like Jacob Berry, mainly because they could fly through the system really fast. I don't think there's Dylan Lesko, the pitcher, the high school pitcher. I think drafting high school pitchers are risky. I like Tamar Johnson as well. Oh, look, Gary Rodriguez got a strikeout. I like Tamar Johnson. I think Drew Jones is risky. He's the top overall prospect according to MLB.com. I like Elijah Green. I think that could be another Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, obviously, not the same type. Like Acuna is a different level type of player, but I think he has that type of potential. Those are the type of guys I'm really interested in. If I go the high school route, I think it has to be Elijah Green or Tamar Johnson. I wouldn't be mad if we took Drew Jones. I just think he's a risky player. But who do you guys want? I'm more interested in taking a college bat because those guys could fly through the system. Look, Josh Young would already be in the majors if it wasn't for his injuries, and Justin Foscue is already in Double-A. I have the graphic on my phone. Just hold up, I got it. Also, let me know. Opening day weekend, would you guys want me to do a live stream similar to this, where we're watching the Texas Rangers game on this live stream, and then you get the comment, my commentary? Let me know. From Sean McNally, I also want a college bat. However, if Green drops to the third pick, I went. I like Elijah Green's upside for sure. I like Tamar Johnson's hitting ability, the second baseman, and then I like the safety of drafting a college bat. Here we go. 1 second. All right, here we go. Here is all of the minor league assignments. So at Down East, we will have, I'm trying to find any top just some top prospects. So outfielders, Marcus Smith, he's one of the outfielders we got in the Mike Minor trade. I think Alejandro Ozuna was one of our top international signings. Maximo Acosta, one of our top shortstop prospects. We don't really have any top catching prospects besides Sam Huff. Trying to find, I think Bradford Webb we just took in the draft. Who else? Dylan McLean, we took him in the 4th round in the 2020 MLB draft, a left-handed pitcher from Washington State. Well, he's from high school, but he's from the state of Washington. Who else? Jose Corniel, we got from the Mariners in the Rafael Montero trade. Those are some notable guys there. Honestly, that Down East team didn't look too exciting. Going to Hickory, so Down East is low A. Hickory will be high A. You have outfielder Aaron Zavala. So that's a promotion for him because he was in Down East last year and limited playing time. So he was our 2nd round pick from Oregon. Then you got Trevor Halver from the Joey Gallo trade. He's staying put. He didn't get promoted. And you got Evan Carter. So that's a promotion for him. He was in Down East. He had limited playing time. That outfield honestly looks stacked with Evan Carter, Trevor Hauver, Aaron Zavala. I bet you see Trevor Hauver switch in between outfield and infield, but I like that outfield right there. Chris Seiss, our former first round pick in the 2017 MLB draft. That was the comp pick for Ian Desmond. He hasn't panned out, and he towards ACL last year, like the first series of the year. He's just staying with the same affiliate. Thomas Sagasi got a promotion. He was our 5th round pick in the 2020 MLB draft. He raked last year in Down the East. Christian Inoa, he kind of raked in Down East last year. Jake Gunther, we got in. He was a player to be named later in the Nate Lowe trade. And then Luis Angel Acuna, he got a promotion. Obviously, that's Ronald Acuna's brother, shortstop prospect. Could move to the outfield, but we will see. Honestly, I really like the infielders and outfielders I saw there. Honestly, I don't really know any of those catchers. And then, look, we got a lot of prospects here. Owen White, Ricky Vanasco, TK Roby. So I don't know if this is a promotion for Vanasco. He hasn't pitched in a while. Definitely a promotion for Owen White. TK Roby, a promotion, yes. Who else? Mason Englert. That name sounds familiar. Mark Church, Ben Anderson. Okay, I don't really know the rest of the guys of those pitchers, but that team looks stacked. You got Evan Carter, 2nd round pick in 2020. Trevor Hauver, a good hitter from the Joey Gallo trade. Aaron Zavala, another 2nd round pick. Chris Seiss, maybe he can pan out. Thomas Sagasi, Christian Inoa, Luis Angel Acuna. Don't really know those catchers. But then you got 3 really good pitchers in Owen White, Ricky Vanasco, TK Roby. That team looks really good. Way better than Down East, for sure. Going to Frisco, who I think was pretty good last year. Going to their outfielders, Kellen Stram, Josh Stowers. We got him the Odor trade. He did okay last year, but I don't think he'll be much. Julio Pablo Martinez, he was our comp for not signing Ohtani. He hasn't really been too exciting. Dustin Harris, he's the guy that's panned out from the Mike Minor trade. I think he's our 6th overall prospect now. I'm excited to see what he can do. This is a promotion for him, and he raked last year in the minors. He started in Down East, got called up to Hickory, going up to Frisco. I'm proud of him. He wasn't even the top, he wasn't the headliner. The headliner in that trade was Marcus Smith down there. Let's look at the infielders. So that outfield has some potential, but you need like Josh Stowers to hit, Julio Pablo Martinez to hit. The best outfielder is probably Dustin Harris. If you look at the infielders, you got Jonathan Ornelas, Trey Hare, no. Okay, Ezekiel Duran, okay. Blaine Krim. Those are probably your most notable prospects. It's Ezekiel Duran and Blaine Krim. Blaine Krim was at AA last year for a little bit, but this is a promotion for Duran, so that's good for him. I know these catchers. Okay. So some notable catching prospects. Matt Watley, he's not really a prospect anymore. David Garcia, he was on the 40-man for a while. Used to be a top prospect, but he's fallen off, but he got a promotion. They really like his defensive ability. Not really good hitter. And here we go. Some of the pitchers. Avery Weems, the other guy we got in the Lance Lynn deal. He'll probably start some games. Who else? Justin Slayton. I think he was our 3rd round pick in 2019. He hasn't really been that good. Cole Reagan's our 1st round pick in 2016. He played well at Hickory last year. Went to the Futures All-Star game. Did bad at Frisco, so hopefully he can rebound. Who else? Ferneri Azuna. He throws gas. Jack Leiter. There we go. That's the ace. We all know him. This is his first time playing in the minors. Chase Lee. Okay, Zach Kent. I don't think this is a promotion, but kind of a lower draft pick who's kind of done really well at the lower levels. Nice to see him here. Cody Bradford, kind of the same story as Zach Kent. So I think that rotation would be Leiter, Kent, Bradford, Weems, and Slayton probably. Not too exciting. More exciting than the Down East team, but the Hickory team looks really good. And then going to Round Rock, you got outfielders and they're playing right now. Outfielders Bubba Thompson, Leody Taveras, Zach Rex, Elier Hernandez. The two that look exciting: Bubba Thompson, Leody Taveras. Bubba Thompson, like I said, already has a home run tonight. And Taveras and Bubba Thompson could be in the majors this year for sure. Taveras is on the 40-man, and Bubba Thompson, I mean, we kept him off the 40-man this year. Would have been exposed to the Rule 5 draft. That didn't happen. So if he rakes this year, he'll be exposed again to the Rule 5 draft. Probably will be added. Davis Wenzel, and it's one of the infielders. Josh Smith, Yanni Hernandez, Ryan Doro, Sherman Apostle. Don't really care about Doro. Don't really care about Hernandez, even though he's on the 40-man. Don't really think he's that good. But Josh Smith, he could be in the majors this year. Did really well in spring training. Same with Davis Wenzel. Hopefully, Sherman Apostle can stay healthy, get a full season down in the minors. I think he has a lot of potential, but he's been plagued by injuries. Hopefully, he can get his stuff together in AAA. You've been looking at the catchers. You got Mabers Valoria. The Rangers likely did in spring training. You got Yoel Pozo. He got some time at the majors last year. More of a bat first catcher. Jack Kruger, don't really know him. Sam Huff. Hopefully this guy can pan out. He needs to stay healthy. If he were to move to first base, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because I think his bat will carry him. But I think this AAA team is pretty intriguing with Huff and Apostle and Smith and Wenzel, Taveras and Thompson. And let's look at the pitchers. You got Cole Winn. Let's see who else. Yeri Rodriguez, another top prospect. Jake Latz, he got some time in the majors last year. Kohei Arihara. Well, he was like our second best free agent signing from last offseason. I bet more pitchers come down to AAA for sure because it doesn't look as full as Frisco or Hickory. So I bet more pitchers come down. But also remember the major league roster is fuller than it normally is. From Sean, I think a live show on Friday's game would be awesome. Would definitely watch. All right, so I'm about to log off, but I'm excited about the season. I think the Hickory team looks really exciting. The Round Rock team looks exciting. Frisco and Down East are but if the guys on those teams play well, then that would be cool. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section down below before I sign off. I'm going to check the AAA game real quick. We are losing 11-1. Yeri Rodriguez is out of the game. Didn't pitch that well. And we only have 3 hits. So, give you about 20 more seconds. But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up down below. I really appreciate that. And also join the Discord. That link will be in the description down below. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.